Whatever it is you feel called to do in business, think about the philanthropic side. What is it that you feel called to help with? Is it homelessness? Is it veteran suicide? Is it animal abuse? Is it child trafficking? What is it that's on your heart? Take that and lift. Leave the rest to other people.
Welcome to the Play Big Faster podcast. I'm your host, Scherrie Prince, and today we are joined by Brian Elam, host of the Get Your Entrepreneurship Together podcast and a very passionate business coach who's been in the entrepreneurship space since 2006. Brian believes that entrepreneurship will save the planet. And how do we do that? By empowering good people to create prosperous businesses and really do good for society. Now, with his relentless enthusiasm and deep coaching experience, Brian helps entrepreneurs connect the dots between symptoms and problems and provide actionable solutions to achieve the business and life they desire. Brian, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Scherrie, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, one thing about your mantra, good people deserve lots of money.
Yes.
Tell me, I'm a good person. Let me know why I deserve lots of money and how others can get lots of money as well.
You deserve lots of money because, like you said, you are a good person. And like my mantra says, when good people have lots of money, more good things, more positive shifts are going to happen in this world. These huge mega corporations, the politicians, they're far too removed from the people on the ground who are out there in the communities and in our environments that we live every day. And we see the problems. We see where people and other smaller organizations need help. And as the small to medium-sized business owner starts prospering and starts making lots of money, they're on the ground and they will be able to see, oh, this small little food pantry in my neighborhood, they need help. I'm going to make sure they have the monetary help they need and maybe go donate my time as well because they're there, they see it. Those types of things and those types of people is all about what I'm here to support and lift up. So that's what I mean when I say good people deserve lots of money.
At the time that we're recording this, we are in a very interesting time in terms of markets. And with entrepreneurship, depending on if you have a brick and mortar business, if you are a virtual coach, or you just basically do everything online, the way that you approach predictable income is different. From the time that you started on your entrepreneurial journey, have you seen some shifts in terms of how we look at predictable revenue and getting to these dollars that you've actually worked through with some of your clients?
Yeah, definitely seen changes. Back in 2006, we were in more of the early days of the online thing, figuring out social media. Back in those days, it was basically brick and mortar was your business structure. Or maybe you did something like you took out Avon. Like my mother had her own little Avon side hustle when I was a kid, and I would go out with her to the neighborhoods while she was selling makeup. But now we have this amazing tool and opportunity with us. Even if you are a brick and mortar business, you still have the opportunity to become national, maybe even global, with the way that people can now see what you have and ship it to them. The mindset and how we get to a predictable stream of income is actually by having multiple streams of income. You can't rely anymore on people walking in the front door of your business and buying from you. You've got to reach wider, involve other people in your business, either as partners or affiliates, and doing that and thinking, how can we get our mom and pop into the internet, into the countrywide and global economy, asking those types of questions and wondering what kind of partnerships you can build into your business, that brings more revenue streams in.
So you said something that was very interesting. You mentioned mindset shifts. With any entrepreneur, there are several different ways that people can look at it. Maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe my product's not good enough to take to market. What are some of the self-limiting beliefs that you've run across with your clients that have actually maybe caused them to be slow in growth until they got over those obstacles.
The one that slows most people down is imposter syndrome, which I'm sure, because you talk about entrepreneurship on this show, I'm sure you've talked about this subject maybe ad nauseum, but it's true. Even though it's like a stereotype, right? We all have heard stereotypes and different tropes, and maybe some of them we listen to and they're like, man, again with that? But why do we hear them all the time? It's because they're real, and so many people are stuck in them. It's the same thing with imposter syndrome. The way you get out of it is by taking action and serving people. You need to take your mindset away from the result that's going to come back to you after you take that action. Get rid of that. Stop caring about that. That's not your focus. Your focus is, how can you serve this person at the highest capacity possible? How can your product or service be better? So it just amazes this person that they're getting such a deal from the amount of value that you're giving. And that's the key word here, is giving. So if you're taking action and you're giving with that kind of mindset, imposter syndrome is not going to be a thing, because you are out there doing it, and that feedback, which you're not focusing on, again, it will come back to you as testimonials, as gratitude, as people sending others to your business. So that's the mindset shift and how to really start getting out of imposter syndrome.
I think you hit the nail on the head with that one. Before I was a coach, I had a coach. And when we talk about deliverables and the way that we show up in the room for our clients, one thing about imposter syndrome you have to understand is that you are the expert in the room. And it's almost like public speaking. Hardly anyone knows what you're talking about unless you're in the room with other experts. So the way that you show up authentically makes a difference with your deliverables, but also there are so many different ways that we deliver services to our clients now. We have AI, and there's this huge push towards AI assistance, where you actually have an AI assistant who is working with you in the place of a person, but you still need a human touch. And one thing that one of your frameworks talks about is how humans matter more than technology. How do you feel about that and the way that people are using AI for some of their deliverables?
This goes back to who you are as a person, right? People matter more than technology. And you see the dichotomy between good and bad ways to use AI in business. And it all comes back to who you are. The people that are out there doing it right, in my opinion, they are the ones that are using AI to augment what they're doing, to exponentially grow what they're capable of providing, either on the customer service side through chatbots and AI agents being able to answer questions and direct to the appropriate person in the business that this customer needs to talk to. Doing it like that versus just having an AI build out a course or a PDF or whatever to just give somebody to make them think you're giving them a ton of value. Those are the two ways in my mind right now that people are using AI. And again, I'm no expert, so please, if your audience listening, they have more insight on this, feel free to comment below. Let's get some interaction on this show. But that's my opinion. There's supplementation and augmentation, and then there's just outright laziness.
So for the people that are using AI to get started, that's one version of it. But then you have another, in my opinion, cohort of entrepreneurs who have analysis paralysis, who aren't using anything. They just need to start. What are some of the practical ways that maybe you'd advise them to just get started?
I'm so glad you asked me about this, because this is another one that can really get people stuck. The way that you get around this is, number one, you have to be clear on what your ultimate goal is. Now, your ultimate goal can change. As your business grows, as you advance as an entrepreneur and as a person, that goal can change. So don't get stuck on, my ultimate goal has to be there and it can't move, it can't shift. Yes, it can. Yes, it will. But come up with something right now that you can see in your mind. What is your version of success, and what does that look like as it pertains to your business? Once you're clear on that, then what you need to do is backward engineer How do you get there? What do you have to do at month number 1? What is that big goal that you have to do in month number 1 in order to eventually get to the ultimate goal? Start at month 1, what is that goal? And you break it down even further into weeks, maybe even days. And if you're a crazy person, you can break it down into hours. I'm not that type. But once you have that, then this is how you beat the analysis paralysis and shiny object syndrome. When something starts flashing in your brain and you see it on the screen, you're like, oh, this new tool will really help. Ask yourself, does this help me get to my goal I'm working on right now faster or with more efficiency? If the answer is no, then let it go. Because it is not for you, at least not right now. And once you make that determination, let it go. And again, keep taking action, keep taking those steps.
Okay. And I love how you broke down reverse engineering that. But once I'm actually in my business, how do I know as problems arise? I can reverse engineer getting to that goal, but as problems arise in the business, how can I tell when I'm trying to connect the dots, what is a surface level issue versus a root cause issue? Because here we go with, it may be imposter syndrome again. I'm in the business doing well, but now I'm afraid that people are going to find out I'm not as great as I was, or there's a bottleneck or a king in my business. Any advice for us? Because I know you do all these great things. Because you also have a podcast where you address these things. We are loving to hear all this good stuff today.
This goes back to alignment and introspection. Because just like you had to reverse engineer and think about your goals and how you're going to get there, that requires some time. That requires some mental effort. And so does this. So does making the distinction between a surface level problem and a deeper operational issue like a bottleneck. And really, you've got to look at it and think, what is this problem that I'm seeing right now? What is it on the surface level? But what is causing it? What's underneath it? And if you can't see that, if it doesn't come to you after a few days of asking yourself that question, what is it? Then it's time to get a coach. Reach out to somebody else who is in your same industry and say, I've got this thing going on and I can't see what the problem is. Can you give me some advice? Can you help guide me to maybe the right questions to ask? Which is all a coach really does. We're not here to tell you how to run your business. We're here to help you find the right powerful questions to ask so that you can discover the solutions that are right for your business. So have that introspection. Think a few layers deep. What is the cause? And when you find it, address it. Do not run from it. A lot of times when businesses are growing, they've got staff, they've got employees. Some of the things that are causing these bottlenecks could potentially be an employee. It might be that the employee is great at their job, but they're just a rotten personality, and they're bringing the morale of your entire company down, which is bringing your productivity down. That person with that rotten personality has to go. I don't care how good they are at their job. They're dragging your entire team down. They got to go. These are the types of decisions you've got to make as a CEO, as an owner. Otherwise, you're just going to be treading water.
Brian, I saw where you stated that entrepreneurship will save the planet. This seems like a huge responsibility for business owners. What do you think about critics who may say that this is too much of a responsibility when you have elected officials or mega corporations should shoulder more of the burden? Why do you feel that entrepreneurship is the answer or greater and positive things for the planet?
It's an interesting place that my mind went to as you were asking that question. My mind actually went to the Revolutionary War, of all things, when the United States separated from Britain and we decided we were going to be our own country and do things our own way. We spent years petitioning the king. Hey, we don't like this. We don't think you should do it like this over here on this new land. How about we stop doing that? And the king would entertain that petition and then do nothing. Nothing changes. It gets worse. And we petition again, and it gets worse. This is the same thing that happens with these politicians. We, as a constituency, complain. They hear us. They go back to their cushy desk in Washington, and they have their staff write out these 3,000-page bills that nobody reads, filled with all kinds of pork and junk that do not get the job done. It's a poisonous system. But at the ground level, where the small to medium-sized business owner lives, this is where real change can happen. I understand when I say that entrepreneurship will change the world, it sounds like a heavy lift, but it goes back to that saying of many hands make a light workload. Just like in business, whatever it is you feel called to do in business, think about the philanthropic side. What is it that you feel called to help with? Is it homelessness? Is it veteran suicide? Is it animal abuse? Is it child trafficking? What is it that's on your heart? Take that and lift. Leave the rest to other people, because we're all different. And that's how we get this done. Good people having lots of money, you help the cause that's on your heart, and everybody else will do the same.
Brian, if you had just one piece of advice to share with entrepreneurs on how to play big faster, what would it be?
Excellent question. My one piece of advice is get to know yourself better than you do right now. I talk a lot about alignment when it comes to entrepreneurship, because at the beginning you're wearing all the hats, but you got to understand when to take those hats off. You've got to understand where your strengths are. And once you have that, as soon as you can farm out your weaknesses to somebody else who that is actually their strength, then you're playing bigger and you're going to play faster, because everyone is in alignment with who they are and what they are meant to do.
If someone wanted to take this conversation offline and contact you directly or find out more about your podcast or your coaching programs, how can they reach you?
Easiest way to reach me is just shoot me an email, brian@gyetpodcast.com. And whether it's just finding more about the show, or you want to have a conversation about maybe me helping see some of those things that you're not seeing in your business and talk through it, then I'm happy to have that conversation.
Thank you so much. I've learned a lot during this episode.
It's my honor to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I really hope that I was able to help today.
And until next time, everyone, play big faster.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Play Big Faster podcast. Want more entrepreneurial content?
I like this.
Make sure to subscribe for future episodes.
Already subscribed.
I just clicked on it.
Don't forget to like and leave a review. Share with a friend that needs this in their life.
I think you need this more than I.
Oh, and make sure to follow Scherrie on IG at Scherrie Speaks. And remember to play big faster.